Hi, welcome. Just doing a roundup today, um, some chart time, and a walkthrough of the new indicators I've been playing with and making, um, all based around sort of some price action, really, what they call the liquidity zones or supply and demand areas. Um, this one is based off the highs and lows of recent action and where price might tend to revisit to, well, grab some more liquidity, as they say. I'm not convinced on the whole argument of, a single actor doing anything in particular, but certainly price swinging between these levels and back into them is very convincing. So I'm sticking with the idea for now. And if I add on these, now there'll be loads more of these, so I'll just get rid of the previous ones I was showing you. Right, so this is M15, a similar concept, but these are more the Z line, Z line areas where, well, people get zeroed out is the theory. So they, for instance, sell at the top, then spikes against them before going on its way again. Reversal areas, essentially. Again, with these, price does tend to come back and touch a lot. You could certainly use them as a basis just on their own for scalps or even wider moves. Zooming out, I've set the indicator up so that everything's jumped back on. I've set it up so that you can actually hold boxes back over onto a lower time frame. Okay, it's getting somewhat messy down there, but if I think this should work. If I lock it here, and then I drop down to M15, have these H1 boxes for the reversals on the higher time frame, but I can see them obviously with a bit more resolution. And when they overlap, it gets a bit messy. You can generally tell. But that's kind of why I made the other one that highlights more highs and lows rather than just every single reversal. I think it's probably best just to stick with the time frame that you're on with these, unless you come down from quite a higher time frame. But I'm using these. So if you see my previous videos, you'll know that I have these strength reversals, which you can see here. This is the pound getting weaker against the dollar on a normalized scale. And obviously when these reach a certain extreme, it tends to revert, especially in ranges, of course. So we have a signal here. This is where the signal starts. This is where it ends on the pink one. And you're looking for other confirmations of entry, such as these levels, or even down here, I'll get into this later, but the VSA. Yeah, so the VSA indicator shows you where price is, a bar has loads of volume and not much of a body. As I can get into these later, but they work better on the higher time frames. The same thing over on Aussie dollar. I've got both set up. I think I've got the higher time frames carried over from M15 now down to M5. So it created this. Came back to tap it. See, grabbing liquidity. I mean, would it be worth institutions driving price down, selling in order to buy again? They liquidate all their sells, which turn to buys, plus they're buying new volume at this price, but potentially, sort of trying to get the best buy price for the day for whatever they're doing, moving money around for clients or even just trading themselves. I don't know how it works. I don't know. I think I've seen, next to nobody explain how it works, essentially, apart from one guy who sells a course, which I'm sure you'll all be familiar, former Goldman Sachs trader, and he claims it's all much longer scale all based on fundamentals that you can map out months in advance. So yeah, not sure if I took this trade based off. I think it must have been a higher time frame. Just drop back up, coming up to this level, high of Asia session, which is what these high and low of Asia session, these lines are. Ran over, I accepted a bit of drawdown. If I'd have waited for my strength signal, that would have been a cleaner entry, but I could have built into the position potentially. And I could have waited for it to hit further down, but it did pull back a little bit before going on its way. So for a scalp, that's fine. This area again was tested for the third time. I had no long signal on M15 for that. There wasn't enough divergence between gold and Aussie dollar, and the dollar. And no VSA signal either there. So a break of the area, or perhaps just a pure price action trade, could have been possible there. The DAX was one I was looking at yesterday. If we zoom out a little bit more. So way back in, what was this? April 21st, it reached these heights, and further back in April as well on the 5th, and rejected. So common sense and putting odds on your side with a tight stop says, yeah, take a short. So I did that and then just bailed. It would have meant holding overnight to see a touch of this last zone, but I think even here it's likely to drop further. I don't know if it would go as far as this, 14,250. There's no reason why not, really. I mean, yesterday the US market was closed, so the DAX just drifted up. Today it might be trying to make amends for that. Or, you know, liquidity grab, who knows? You can see overlapping here, we've got the new high area. You've also got the Z line area within it, so that kind of lays on top of each other. The Z line, you could say, would be potentially a more accurate target. The highs and lows are just based on the wicks of the starting candle sort of thing. I wouldn't mind trading this way, it's a lot cleaner. It's just boxes give you that extra sort of automated areas to look at. So yeah, revisit the previous area. It came all the way back up here before making new lows. Did it touch on the top of that one? More or less. And then we'll say it's either here or here for the next push down. Potentially here, we wouldn't, depending on how strong this move is. Volume wise, we've actually seen most of the push down to here already, so that was quite the spike there. We'll see if it holds or if the market wants to push back up. No position for me at the moment. I think I missed out on 0.25% or 0.5% there. I think just waiting, watching to see if it will push lower. A few words on VSA perhaps, and maybe a quick look at gold before we wrap this up. Gold seems to respect levels much better than other pairs. I've got the whole numbers drawn on the chart you see in the halves and quarters in between, just as sort of an approximation of support and resistance. But really, I'm looking for VSA, so volume candles that show potential reversal coming up, and then moves towards these other areas. It dipped right into there. Looks like it might be coming back for more. But after that, we'd have to see if it was going to break to the downside or reverse back out. I'm getting an extreme of gold versus dollar though on this one, so we could well have a reversal on our hands, but gold is so volatile, as I'm sure you know. You can't really slide in with a tight stop all the time, especially if you're not convinced of a level. I mean, H1 traders might appreciate this more. See here, you get this rejection candle. It's kind of all the data is consolidated into that whole hour, so it's perhaps a bit more revealing, but then you got to sit through 25, 20 pips of drawdown. Yeah, nearly gave the signal here. I have got settings for this which can be adjusted, but it's tricky. Anything yellow or green is worth a look at, really. And the red ones are sort of momentum candles where the volume matches the body. So yeah, lots of volume, and a big body means there's momentum in that direction and no indecision. Whereas here, yeah, you get the picture. I've got the option to, let's see if it works here, lock these boxes when I drop down as well, which is always fun. So that's the H1 boxes, the hourly boxes, mapped out down here. I think does that apply on M5 as well? Yeah, so you get the new boxes plus the longer H1 ones, hourly boxes, which could be useful for joining trends. You know, sort of set a sell limit here when price comes back up to hit it. I mean, that was 35 pips, but you could just be joining the trend or whatnot. Again, here we could be shorting, but we don't know what we're shorting into just yet, so it's a little bit close. Perhaps up here obviously was the move. Yeah, so that's a bit more chart time. Also, guys, I would like to potentially work with anyone else. Oh man, that's short. I keep doing this. I enter, it pulls back against me back to break even. I'm like, no, I'm not having it. And then, yeah, missed opportunity. So that's something, because I'm going into a prop challenge soon, in the next few weeks. And probably my Forex funds, could be FTMO. Even MFOID have said they're back on track with theirs. So I will have a look at all the offerings just before I decide. But yeah, I'm looking to do that. So I need to tighten up my entries and exits. And I feel like the psychological game I'm on top of a lot better now than I was before. Like, I'm happy to sit through a loss. I know this doesn't look like it, charts, trades like this, but when I'm scaled up and committed to a trade, yeah, no trouble, I'll sit through that. And just if it loses on to the next one, it's the process that counts and all the rest of it. But I would like to work with people who are in a similar situation, going for prop themselves, early stages of their trading career. And I would like to build a community around that as well. I have got a Discord server. I've got a few contacts in there at the moment, which is great. People to talk through trades with, and I'm obviously members of other servers. But yeah, if people were on the same page, they're happy to join up, then please do, you know, no trouble there. And I'm thinking of also doing, just to generate some interest, a giveaway of either this indicator, the boxes one, or the VSA indicator for the first, like, 1,000 YouTube subs, for instance. So yeah, if there's any interest for that, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and notify if this is sort of up your street. And yeah, look forward to hearing from you guys. Good luck trading. I'll talk to you soon.